crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horners. Ease your sip of chaga coffee. We're going to talk about silver manipulation. How strong are these guys? How powerful are the manipulators of all our markets? Are they all powerful? Let me show you something that it's not a coincidence. I talked about it when it happened. Put up the 5-year chart of silver. Right in here, the beginning of 2020 was when silver should have been running. What did the manipulators do? They slammed it from $18.50 all the way down to $12.50. They always do that before the big moves up. This is pure market manipulation. The CFTC closes its eyes, pats them on the head, or actually the riggers pat the CFTC on the head. They have 4 new commissioners now who, as far as I can tell, are completely clueless about every single thing they do or supposed to do. But hey, that's the world we live in. Here's what I wanted to show you goes along with this. When you look at the 5-year chart, what happened? This is April of 2020 when that slam down in silver happened, and then it was allowed to move up over the moving averages. What else happened? Voila, look at the crude oil April. That's when the riggers slammed the price of oil down to minus $40. Minus $40. That's how powerful these people are. We can see a silver price of minus $50, minus $100. The reason they can do this is it's not real silver that's trading. It's not real oil that's trading. It's not real gold that's trading. It is fake derivative markets trading at 100, 200, 300 times the underlying asset. These are all fake markets. So how much power do the riggers have? Unlimited. Unlimited power. Yes, they can put, silver is a tiny market. Let's just get this. Let's get it over with. Oil production per year is 34 billion barrels. The size of the oil market, the physical oil market, every year is $1.7 trillion a year. Gold is 170 billion. It is massively bigger than gold, than iron, than copper, than aluminum. And all the way down at the bottom is silver with a $20 billion annual production. That's nothing. That's nothing compared to oil is a 85 times bigger market, 85x than silver. And if they can rig the oil market, the largest commodity market in the world, to show minus $40 oil prices, they can manipulate everything, and that's what they do. How do they do it? I've been screaming this since I discovered it in the early 2000s. That's why they kicked me out of the Silver Summit. 2 ways: computers and derivatives. Computers and derivatives to rig the markets. It's so simple when you understand. You go back to the beginning of shareable computer language. A guy named John Kemeny invented basic computing. His best friend in high school was Alan Greenspan, who invented our electronic financial markets. Of course, they don't want to tell you that. Most people say, oh, Greenspan, bubbles, he created the bubbles back in when he was Fed chairman. No, he created the rigging programs in the early 1970s, even into the 60s. His mentor was a guy named Arthur Burns. Arthur Burns was the head of the Fed at that time. So he brought his computer rigging models to Arthur Burns and say, hey, we can go off the gold standard. We can control every single price in every single market on every single country with these computer programs. All we have to do is start up the Exchange Stabilization Fund, kick them into high gear. Who controls that? It's run out of the Fed in New York. It's the Fed, it's the Treasury, and it's called the Working Group on Financial Markets, was the new name for it. The head of the Fed, the head of the Treasury, the head of the SEC, and the head of the CFTC. You have to have the regulators on your side if you're going to rig markets. So that's how big this is. This goes for cryptos too, all you crypto lovers. Anyway, another thing happened at that moment. They slammed silver down. We saw that. They slammed oil down. We say that right here, minus $40. The other thing that happened is this. This is when the gold-silver ratio spiked to unbelievable numbers, 120 to 1. It was 126 to 1 with a high, 125.8 1.89 to 1. That is insane. And right now, we're still at a massive number. Where are we now? Let's see. We are at about 84 to 1. The best trade of any trade that you will make right now, if you own gold, is to swap it 100% for silver. That trade is going 1 to 1. Gold and silver should be valued 1 to 1, probably better than 1 to 1. Why? Because there's 6 billion of each on the planet right now. Remember, every ounce of gold that's dug up is stuck into a vault somewhere. Every ounce of silver that's dug up, not every ounce, but 65% of it is put into some kind of electronic thing that we blow up with bombs, we'll never recycle, with solar panels. We crash with Elon Musk cars. Massive amounts of silver are needed every day. And if you're on the road to ruin, on the private road, you know who's behind the lease. JP Morgan, I think they were forced to lease their metal, 1.2 billion ounces, supposedly, at least over 1 billion ounces of silver, to Bank of America, and Bank of America gave it to somebody because they had that entity had saved Bank of America's hide. That's on the private road to go check that out. So yeah, right now swap your gold for silver. You could probably get 80, maybe 75. Don't forget there's premiums on everything these days. I'm not sure how much gold for silver you can get. If you don't have someone local, your local coin shop, go to Andy Scheckman. Send him an email, Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com. He's my broker. I've been working with him for years. I trust him. You got to deal with people you trust right now. So give Andy a call if you want to buy silver or swap your gold for silver. Really interesting article here on one of the greatest websites, Wall Street on Parade. JP Morgan whistleblower names former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair in court documents as receiving emergency payments from the bank. JP Morgan was, for example, Bernie Madoff's only banker. Why didn't the board of JP Morgan go to jail? They're officers of the company. They're liable for everything that happens. They should have all been put in jail, and JP Morgan, the entity, should have been shut down. The most criminal bank. How many? This is just one person. They got to pay people off, and the deep state uses JP Morgan as that entity. And then when people get in trouble, we bail out guys like JP Morgan. Heads I win, tails you lose. Jamie Dimon is not going to fare well by the end of this year. I have no doubt he will be in jail, along with all his other friends. There's no doubt in my mind. And the banks will be gone. Good night. The derivative bubble will have gone off, and poof, it's over. And the silver we won't know the price of silver for a long time. Until we start up a new market, it'll probably start locally. Everything will start locally. So, things will be very different. Just a note on Zero Hedge. Elon Musk's Starlink satellite internet hits 400,000 users. It's getting big and big and big. You know my take on it. First of all, at least with the Starlink, you need a receiver. You need this big dish. I actually have one on my roof. It's not available in my area yet. It might be now. Because I think it's a great idea, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to last very long. Right now, Russia is dealing with Starlink going over Ukraine and providing internet access. Russia can shoot down one of these satellites, and when you have 30,000 low orbit satellites all in the same orbit going around the planet, all it takes is take a couple of them out, and it's the ping pong effect. And they take a few out, and then poof, we're into the Cliff High world where we have to clean up the space junk that is all around our planet. So I think it's a completely moronic way to think about expanding our internet with Starlink. I think it will prove to be the biggest mistake of Elon Musk's career. Because it's so, a satellite has no defenses. And China or Russia gets pissed off at us, bang, bang. A couple of them go, and then they ping pong against all the others. But hey, we'll find out. Theta is a much better way to expand broadband, at least on the planet. and you don't have to buy an $800 Starlink receiver. So I'm you guys know I'm a big fan of Theta. I think at some point Samsung and Sony are going to click a mouse and download a Theta Edge node on every one of their smart devices around the world and have them mining for Theta fuel. Guardian nodes, Edge nodes, you name it. I think that's what's going to happen. Can you imagine how easy that would be? You want to expand broadband everywhere on the planet? Download Theta. Make it mandatory that you download Theta on every single smart device so everybody shares its internet and you have an amazing mesh network globally. Matter of fact, that's what the remote viewers saw as happening in the future. They even saw Theta Fuel. They didn't say Theta Fuel, but they said it's used as a way to give out the universal basic income after the banks crash. Just think about it. They can't. I don't think you can mine yet on your phone. Well, you kind of can through somebody else's node. But imagine running a node on all your smart TVs on the planet. I mean, it's why spend trillions of dollars expanding broadband when you can do it with a software download? I mean, it's just a no-brainer. And technology people don't know about Theta. Crypto people don't know about Theta. Nobody knows about Theta except Road to Root followers and Michelle White Dove followers and the woo-woo world. It's so big. I cannot stress enough how big Theta is. Yes, I know it's trading at $1 or whatever it was. Hell, it was trading at 4 cents. Remember when it hit $15 and everybody's like, oh my God, I wish I could have gotten in. You think it was easy to get in at 4 and 5 cents before? They've done so much since then. It's not easy. Crypto investing is not easy. But if I asked you when Theta was $15, if you want to buy Theta, you would have said, no, I want to buy it. You got in, you got lucky because you got in early. And if I asked you, hey, would you buy it at $1 or $2? You'd say, hell yeah. And now it is $1 or $2. There you go. There's your gift. Go get your Theta. If you don't know how to do it, the private road at roadtoroot.com has a page on Theta on how to buy it, store it, stake it. It's not hard, but it's going to be the most important thing for the planet going forward. In the past, probably the most important investment for sure is silver. Silver is going to blow by any kind of percentage returns that any crypto has done so far. When silver is freely traded after 170 years of price suppression, bar the door. My first thought about selling will probably be $20,000 an ounce. It'll be 1-to-1 with gold. I do think gold's going to jump to 20,000 because it's been suppressed too. But I also know there's massive amounts of gold. When that news gets out, holy shit. Let's say it's not the 200,000 tons that Jeffrey Christian will tell you. Let's say it's 2 million tons. 10 times the amount of gold is available, and then even more in the ground. Why is it in the ground? Because the U.S. locks up. Every time they find a huge gold deposit or a huge oil deposit, they lock it up in a national park, in an army base. The Anwar, saved the moose up in Alaska. Full of oil up there. Ask Lindsey Williams. Anyway, that's where we are. Your job, get the good assets, get them in your own possession, and watch the show. Right now, I'm in watch the show mode. Every once in a while, when I get another penny, I'll buy a little more silver or I'll buy a little more Theta. Mainly silver now, because I think silver is so close. And then when silver breaks to $20,000 an ounce, I'll sell a little silver and buy the rest of the Theta that's out there. That's the plan. But to get from here to there, we're going to have a destruction of the criminal system, the monetary system that we're in. And we are on track. Inflation. Watch inflation. Look at the oil numbers. They are booming right now. Where is it? Here it is. 114. I mean, we're going to see a 9.5 print. 9 to 9.5 print in the CPI, which is, I think, June 10th. 9.5. Remember last month when everybody said, oh no, this inflation has peaked. And then the Fed's not going to raise rates because they can't, because the stock market's crashing. It is a catch-22, but it was always planned this way. Remember, Alan Greenspan invented the first computer programs to rig the markets, ultimately to destroy the system. And I think he's going to do that, help do it, or force it to be done. There's a couple guys that I follow very closely behind the scenes. One of them is Alan Greenspan, and the other one I talked about being the taker of silver. And they have plans before they die. And this year's it. So hang on to everything you got. Hug your kids and make sure that your life is set for a little chaos. And imagine you could just stay home, shut out the lights, and live for 3 or 4 weeks when the shit falls down. And then things will start up again. Remember, they've had over 100 years to plan this destruction of the monetary system. They better have some good plans, and I think the good guys do, but it'll still be chaotic when people lose everything in their 401ks and IRAs and all that. But it's going to happen. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Oh, I posted yesterday something I was going to post on YouTube, but the YouTube censors said, no, you don't you dare, and I quickly removed it. Yeah, so it's on the private road in the uncensored section, and it is called, Did Trump, Putin, and Xi Strike a Pact to Take Down the Deep State Bad Guy? Keep an eye on China. That's the next shoe to drop in the inflation war. Also, go check out let's see, where is it? The Jenny Moonstone video. Go to the private road. And it's not on the... there's some great videos here, by the way, in uncensored. Go check that out on Road to Road. Seems like my computer's not really working well. Unable to connect. All right. Apparently that's all for me. This is Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. Don't forget, get your silver Ruta coin by joining a private road membership 1 year. I'll talk to you later.
Hang on tight, my friends. Theta Girl's on her way. Would fly to the sky, dump everything on her, let her take me so high. Well, she said her name was Theta, wanna go for a ride. All band expansion, always there by my side. She's my Theta girl, she really rocks my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. I said go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Well, the 40X move in 2020 was fun. You ain't seen how high my little Theta can run. Coinbase will add 300 million or more. America will love her while they watch her price soar. She's my Theta girl, she really rocks my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. I said go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. You're my Theta girl, you really rock my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Well, my wife got really jealous, I love Theta too much. She said, I know it sounds crazy, I'm missing your touch. You're gonna have to choose, it's either me or your coin. I'm sad to see her go, but look where Theta is gone. She's my Theta girl, she really rocks my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. I said go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. You're my Theta girl, you really rock my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Well, I believe Sarasi $1,000 or more. Everybody watching Theta partner galore. Samsung and Sony, Apple, Netflix and more. Google and then YouTube, well, you watch it price soar. It's my Theta girl, she really rocks my world. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go. Go Theta, go Theta, go Theta, go.